the new live stream that we're running, but I'll certainly talk about this boxing and Muay Thai gym marketing in a minute. But this new streaming will be additional to what we're doing for our community every Thursday. So later today, we also have a live stream for the community. So if you're watching this on the community page, this isn't that. I'll be back on that. We're actually chatting with Richard from Com Marketing later today. But this is actually a test for what we're going to start on Mondays with our new live stream, which should be more public, right? So, but let's just jump straight to it. I just wanted to share 4 points so I can see how this actually streams to the different platforms. So we're going off to our YouTube and our actual, my actual profile as well as our business group. So, if you don't know who I am, I'm Matt Phillips. I run Zip Leads. We're a conversion platform. So we really specialize in helping people get more from their existing leads. So we certainly help a lot of people with getting leads through usually better advertising, particularly social media advertising. But the folks from there that we understood, when we were a marketing agency, was that without that conversion piece, it's just very hard to stay in the paid ads game, right? There's no getting around the fact that particularly social media leads are getting a little bit more expensive year on year. And so the conversion piece, i.e., what's the cost per acquisition, how much you're actually paying to make a sale, that's the piece that you can really have more control over, right? There's only various things you can do to control your cost per lead, but your cost per sale you can control. So the 4 things I want to talk about today was within the context of what we've done a lot of help with boxing and Muay Thai gyms and other combat sports, and to a degree some other martial arts studios as well. But mostly for the boxing and the Muay Thai space, we've seen this, that some of the improvements that we make are really come down to, well, there's a lot, but I'm going to talk about just 4 today, which is that the follow-up, the nurture process, looking at how timely it is, personalizing it, being flexible with it, and also asking for as low a commitment as possible. And so I'll talk through those briefly now, just so you can map it out, and then hopefully this is helpful to you. So the first one with timely is, of course, yes, you want to reach out to that lead very, very quickly. Usually we recommend, for ours, not immediately, because most people using Zip Leads actually have an option, and this comes back to flexibility that I'll talk about in a minute, where the lead can actually schedule a call themselves and they can choose when they get a follow-up, right? So we actually recommend to wait 5 minutes so that process can happen. But look, if you don't have that process, an opportunity to book something straight away, then you'd want to compress that down to probably just 2 minutes. Not immediately, because that's too obviously automated, which ties into the next step about being personalized. So the idea really is just a couple of minutes after the opt-in. That's when they get the text message. That's when they get the email, right? And yes, definitely using text messages is usually one of the big upgrades that we make for these gyms. Some of them we find are using text messages already, but it's manual, and so they lose the timeliness aspect of it. All right, so that's the first one, timely, 2 to 5 minutes, depending on whether you've got something automated for them to do, like book in a time. If they don't, if they do, 5 minutes. If not, 2 minutes. The personalized. So this isn't, I don't mean like the obvious stuff here with personalized, right? Yes, it should say, hey, Matt, this is Alex from whatever boxing gym. Yes, obviously you've got to put their name in the message. That should be fairly common practice nowadays with any sort of system you're using, put their name in. But what I mean with personalizing it is really making an experience that it seems to be for them, right? So for example, we don't just push out a message straight away. And for some of you using Zip Leads, you might want to adjust this because this is newer to 2023. We weren't doing this last year, for example. It's actually having that first message pushed out saying, hey, Matt, this is Alex from Gym ABC. Just got this inquiry. Is this Matt? I think the actual wording we use is, hi, this is Alex from Gym ABC. Just got an inquiry from Matt about XYZ. Is this Matt? And just ask them a question, right? It sounds more like you're actually reaching out to check if you've got the right person, right? That's a more personal message, even though it's automated, right? Okay, so, and then from there, we get the yes. Now we move into the flexibility component of it, right? So instead of like pushing the offer straight away with a larger commitment, the flexibility side of it, what I'm getting at there is to make it easy for them to talk to you on their terms. Okay, there's often a story I talk about this, which is if you imagine a work setting or a more of a corporate setting, if someone walks into that meeting and there's a group of people and they say, who wants to, or who's running this meeting today? And then someone says, yep, I'll do it. Or someone says, yes, this person. Interestingly, the person who actually said or delegates the meeting to be run by someone, they're actually more of the alpha position of that room. They're actually controlling the meeting, even though they're not running the meeting. So when you put it to them, when's the best time to connect? Or, the next step is a phone call. I'll talk about that in a second. When's the best time to do the next step, right? It's not like you're giving up control of the conversation. You're actually maintaining control of it, but you're giving them flexibility, right? You're giving them that perceived sense of control there, but you're still running things. So flexibility means asking them when is the best time to connect. Okay, now with zip leads, you can obviously, well, not obviously, but you can actually use AI and zip leads to have a conversation with the person. So even if you're training or teaching or sleeping, whatever, the conversation can still happen within those first few minutes where the person can go back and forth with an AI and have a conversation about when's the best step for a phone call. So flexibility, leave it to them, give them the option when's the best time to call, because calling them straight away is no longer best practice. We see this quite a bit. You've probably experienced it in your own business if you do follow-up calls. Like, I'm not against calling straight away, I'll just be clear on that, but if you can have a text conversation before the call and they can arrange, yes, actually call me this afternoon at 3 p.m., that's a better outcome than you ringing them and them either not answering the call, blocking the number, or answering and saying, no, I don't have time to talk to you, right? So if the text message conversation goes nowhere, by all means call them, right? Yes, still call people. But if you can do it by text to arrange the call with that flexibility, then that's the big thing. And then one of the things specific that I have seen with the boxing and the Muay Thai gyms is that part of the flexibility does come down to availability as well. So as I mentioned earlier, where one of the best things you can do, and you can do this without zip leads, is to, once someone inquires, you want to send them to a calendar link to book in a call with you, right? But if they go to that link and the only slots are like, 2 p.m. till 3 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that's not much availability and not being flexible to them, right? So it's great for you. You get all your calls in that little hour slot all the time, but you're missing a lot of leads. So part of the flexibility is to be more flexible as to when you can take calls. Even if you run it as an experiment, to just say like, look, just for this month or just for this week, I'm going to make myself available from like whatever it needs to be, 6 a.m. till 9 a.m. and then I'll have a spot 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then I'll have another spot 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Whatever you can fit in, do as much as you can as possible. That way, if you're getting whatever level of bookings, maybe you're getting 10 bookings a week at that point. If you later compress that to be what you would like it to be and nothing changes, then fine. But if it does, then you know that you were getting benefit from being more available. And what I've been talking about phone calls as the next step. This is what I mean about minimal commitment. Instead of sending someone a link to sign up, even for a free thing or sign up for a very low priced membership or something like that, or some discount, just do a phone call like as the next step. So again, most people are ringing their leads anyway. If you just make the phone call the next step anyway to arrange a chat, then you will end up with a higher connection rate with those leads. And we do see through booked phone calls, we do get a lot of feedback that the sales rate actually goes up. So I don't have data to show exactly why this is, but I suspect it's because when you talk to someone at a time that they chose, it's more likely that they have 10 minutes to actually talk about what challenges they're facing, why they want to do what they want to do, really get to the core issue here, which leads to a more likely sale, right? Because not only can you help them, they want you to help them because they've really, you've been through that process with them to really make it quite clear that not only is this a good option for them, it's probably the best option for them. Okay, so we'll talk about sales stuff in another video, but so that's the 4 steps I wanted to go through today for you, which is sharing to make that follow-up timely, the 2 to 5 minutes. Call them if you don't get through by text, but text message should be personalized with a view of progressing to a minimal commitment, just a phone call, and being flexible to talk to them when they want to talk to you. So hopefully that's helpful. We'll be doing I'll be doing more live streams about gym marketing, martial arts studios, Pilates studios, lots of different types of fitness businesses. Every Monday, it'll be 1:30 p.m. Sydney time. which is now daylight savings. So that's what, 12:30 in Queensland and 10:30 over in Western Australia land. And yes, I look forward to seeing more of you there. If you have any particular content you want me to talk about, or you want help, if you guys are in our community already, whether you're using zip leads, whether you're not using zip leads, please feel free to comment. Let me know on this video as well, and I will certainly have a look at that and see what I can do to help.